Going everyone? It's Sam. Cardano just got delisted from eToro, and a lot of people are wondering, is Cardano dead? It has been going down pretty consistently for the last 2 months now, ever since they released smart contracts, and I know a lot of people have been wondering why it's been basically cut in half over the last couple months, while a lot of other cryptos went up to the moon. So we're going to talk about it here today, talk about whether it is time to sell Cardano. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a crypto analyst, and you have to make your own decisions, but I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, what I see, the risks and rewards of holding it, and we're just going to talk through it. So if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, I really appreciate that. It helps out the channel a lot. Also, there is a link down below the video to BlockFi to get an interest rate on your cryptocurrencies, and they pay you a bonus when you sign up. So they pay you up to 9.5%. And there's a link down there to the Patreon to see exactly when I buy and sell different cryptos. You can check out that link. Obviously, crypto is doing fairly well today. Bitcoin's up 2.5%, Ethereum's up 7%, BNB up 8%. And overall, I think a lot of people are feeling a little bit better about crypto than they were about a week ago or so when we saw Bitcoin around 55,000. But we still have Cardano down a little bit. Now, some general news from around the industry. Odell Beckham is going to take his entire salary in Bitcoin, which is fantastic. I mean, we see a lot of this news of different players getting paid bonuses or brand sponsorships in Bitcoin or crypto, but not usually a full salary. I mean, I don't know what Odell makes, 10, 20 million. That is a significant amount in Bitcoin, and to take all Bitcoin is fantastic. Also, some news about Phunware. It's a cloud platform for mobile. They bought $24 million worth of Bitcoin. They already held Bitcoin. But as time goes on, more companies like this will continue to purchase Bitcoin, just making it drain even more from exchanges. One other thing that I thought was funny is the fact that we are in fear right now with Bitcoin at nearly $57,000. It's funny how things can change, right? We were at the same level of fear about 3 months ago when Bitcoin was at $35,000, and now we're in fear with it at 57. It's funny how things change. Just keep that in mind that everything is relative in the crypto markets. And then last piece of news before we get on to Cardano, Regal Cinemas to accept crypto for tickets, concessions. This is another cinema chain similar to AMC. They have 7,000 screens, and it's funny because they just feel the pressure. And I think a lot of other companies, nations, individuals will feel pressure too to continue to adopt crypto more and more, whether it's for payments or buying it on their balance sheets. It's just another domino, and it's harder and harder to stop those dominoes once they start falling. Now, onto the main piece of news today. eToro announced Cardano and Tron delisting. Now, a lot of people were already upset with Cardano because the price has not been going up recently, but I think this probably pisses people off even more. They're limiting access to this, so now new positions on Cardano and Tron cannot occur. You will be able to close out your positions. It's not like they're just taking the crypto from you or anything, but you will not be able to open new ones. So you have to sell it for USD essentially. Now, they said this is because of regulatory concerns. Now, I've heard other exchanges that haven't had Cardano listed. That's the reason that they haven't listed them, just because they're worried about how the government's going to react to Cardano. Now, I think that's probably because of the Howey test, and they've said before that Ethereum and Bitcoin are considered not securities because they actually have utility. I think that as time goes on, Cardano will gain more and more utility, but right now, a lot of people do have it because they feel like it will go up in price. A lot of people assume that it's a security because of the investment in money, and they have a reasonable expectation of profits. They're not buying it as a means of exchange. They're buying it because they think it will go up in price. And part of that is because Cardano has not had a lot of utility up until this point. But this is somewhat changing. So this is coming from Investor Place talking about how Solana and Cardano could actually kind of take over Ethereum in the long run. They say Cardano still remains a viable play. In time, more DeFi and D-apps will flock to it, and it will become more widely used. In turn, it will enable us to see a gradual rise in price. So I totally agree with that. We do see some NFTs happening on Cardano, but less people know about them. They still are pretty popular though. One recently sold for $1 million. Space Bud, I believe it's called. I think, like I said, this will continue to increase over time, but Cardano is really focused on the long term. Charles recently was kind of getting mad at people for being so short-minded, short-term focused. He doesn't care about the price. He just says at 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, we really feel there's a strong possibility that Cardano could be the back end of many nation states. So they are very big picture. They're not worried about the day-to-day price. And from his point of view, I totally get that because they've already, 50x this year, and people are still complaining to him about the price. I can understand why he'd get frustrated. Now, one setback that's kind of happened recently is SundaeSwap did say that they had a DEX, and they said that they would bring this in a few weeks. So this was on November 4. They said that in a few short weeks we'll be able to show off what they've been building. Now, they did have some news on this recently. So this is, again, from November 4. It's been almost 3 weeks now, not 2 weeks like they said, but they did pick their ISO stake pool operators. So I think they are progressing forward. It's just a little bit slower than what people wanted. Now, overall, do I think Cardano's dead? No, I don't think it's dead. However, it does have a lot of negative momentum, right? A lot of these other cryptos are doing well. Cardano's trading sideways or trading down pretty much week in and week out. It's going to be difficult for them to catch up to something like Solana or Ethereum, but after they implement DeFi, after they actually have a DEX that's working and there's more and more value locked, I could definitely see them moving up in price. I think right now it's kind of like a coiled spring. It's kind of a compressed spring where the price keeps on falling and it just becomes more and more explosive over time. So I do want to apologize. My neighbors are determining that this is a good time to blow leaves right outside my window. But I think that it becomes more and more explosive over time and has more and more potential as the price falls. That's just normal, right? So Cardano, I don't think it's dead. It is definitely falling down in terms of adoption compared to some of these other cryptos because there is no DeFi on it. There's very little NFTs compared to something like Ethereum, and there isn't as much of a use case. But again, as time goes on, more and more projects will lock up value on Cardano, and I think it will go up in price. You have to realize that this is a diversification play that is for the long term. I don't have all my money in Cardano. When I think about it, it's only about 3 to 4% of my overall portfolio is in Cardano. But I think that it's a good diversification play. I really like Charles Hoskinson as a leader because he is long-term focused and he's not worried about the price, so he's not trying to pump it up. I know I'll probably get flack for saying it's not dead or it is dead or whatever I say, half the people will be pissed off at, but I'm still holding my position. I'm not selling it. I think that if you were looking at adding it, now isn't a terrible time because again, they have a lot of potential and they have been beaten down compared to a lot of other cryptocurrencies. Now, I already have a decent sized position, so personally, I'm not adding to it. But if they fall into that 150 range, 160, I could definitely see myself taking more of a position. Now, of course, always do your own research. Like I said, this is being hurt pretty badly because of all the recent news. I think, again, if they have more utility, they will be not considered as much of a security. But of course, I can't see the future. Definitely do your own research. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for hitting the like and subscribe and checking out the links down below to BlockFi and to Patreon. And I will see you in the next video. Let me know your thoughts on this down below and Cardano down below. Thanks.